Alrighty, so I'm here today to talk to you about my Play to Your You virtual group working session. So quite a mouthful. So it's going to take me a little bit here to explain this to you. I'm a big fan of six packs. So you're going to see I've got 6 sessions as part of this offering. And we're going to go through 6 sections right now that I'm going to use to actually explain to you. So grab a drink, sit back and relax, and we're going to go through this. Green tea, a glass of wine. I'm part Irish, so for me it would be a Guinness. I've got my Play to Your You work playbooks. I've been working on this for quite some time. Yours is going to be relatively thinner. We're going to get you started. That's what the whole part of this process is about. So what is this all about? What's the offering about? So I'm a big fan, for those of you who know it, of top 3 lists and top 5 lists and top 10 lists. So I've got a top 3 list here of what it's all about. So the first one is exploring what makes you tick. So I like to say, be you, take care of you, play to your you. So be you is being your authentic self. And we're all very complex people. We're all very unique. So it's getting in there and getting a better sense of, what is it that makes, Dave Walker tick? What is it that makes you tick? So number 2 is helping you find your fit. So I like these machines. I don't know what they're called. When you go get your shoes done, it's like the shoe fitting machine is what I call it. I wanted to find one and buy it as a little prop, but I can't, so you're going to have to settle for a photocopy. But think of it, it's like how important it is to go in there and have the right fitting shoes. There's so many of us walking around there. We've got shoes that are too big or too tight, and it's painful. Somewhere along the ways when we were born, we kind of, we put on shoes that just don't fit for us. So being able to go in there and find out the right fit for us, whether it's fit with, where we're working, if it's a fit with what we're learning, if it's a fit with who we're with, as I like to say, at work, rest, or play, finding your fit. And then the last part of my number 3 on my list is providing you with the opportunity to sharpen your people skills. So we're going to go through a whole bunch of them, and it's going to give you an opportunity to start going through them. And there's nothing more important than people skills in being able to connect with other people. So what makes you tick? Your people skills, and kind of a bonus is once you have a better appreciation for what makes you tick, you're going to almost by definition have a better sense of what makes other people tick. All righty, that was section 1. Hang in there. Section number 2. So the benefits of a better appreciation of what makes you tick. So I talked about the soft skills. So I want to read you an article. And I think this article, I call it the 85% article, and I got it in a Costco magazine of all places. And I think, it just sums it all up. So I'm going to read this to you. So hold on a second. This is based on research by the Harvard University, the Carnegie Foundation, and the Stanford Research Institute. So this is what they found regarding people skills. Technical skills and knowledge account for 15% of the reason you get a job, keep a job, advance in a job, and 85% of your job success is connected with your people skills. 85%. And I always say that I didn't teach us that in school. When I go back to my schools, we were learning all the other stuff. What's with that? So you have an opportunity to work on some of that, and again, pass it on and share it with other folks as well. And I would argue that it's not just on the job front, but it's on all kinds of other front where those people skills are 85% or more. The other benefit, this is more of a top 2 list, is and I've made a lot of change myself. So my Who Are You workbooks, I've gone through, this is a book for those of you who aren't familiar with that I wrote about the journey of change and transformation that I went through. It was unintentional. I just started going and it's like I couldn't stop. So I went from a pretty nasty place to a much nicer place. And I think one of the things that helped me out was what I called at that time, a little picture of it here. It looks very similar to my Play to Your You book. This is my Who Are You book. So before I could play to myself, I had to find myself. So this book and what we're going to do and start you off on here is when you're trying to go through a change, when you're trying to go through a transformation, when you're trying to maintain that, nurture that. In coaching, they taught us it's the who, what, and the how. We jump on the what, we jump on the how, but it's the who that is the real enabler. And there's a poem I really like that, and it will probably explain a little bit what the Dr. Seuss characters are doing on there. It's by Dr. Seuss, and it's be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And I absolutely love that. So I'm trying my best as I can to play to my who. And every time I've signed one of my books, I always add the same three things. Be you, so be your authentic self. Take care of you. It's important you take care of yourself, and play to your you. And there's one I'm starting to add. A friend of mine kind of shared that one too, got me thinking. It's celebrate your you. So as often as you can, celebrate your you. All right, section 3. So diving into the key components. So our key components here is working. I've highlighted the work because there's, it takes time and work to make change and make it stick. The group and the sessions. So really quickly, the work, to me, what I've read, what I've experienced, what I've seen and read, it's you'll learn by doing. You'll learn by processing what you've done. You'll learn by practicing, and you'll learn by sharing. And one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies, Brad Pitt, it's, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. So it's practicing, and sharing as well is a great way of processing, because you're thinking of sharing it. How do I structure those thoughts and think about it and bring it there? That's the working part. The group. So the group, there's gonna be four of you and little old me. 4 is enough that we can actually connect and share, and there's not too many of us, so we all have an opportunity to process and share and get together. So benefits, it gets widen your lens. You're going to get all kinds of different ideas and appreciation for others. Increase your accountability. It's one thing to say, I want to have a better sense of what my strengths are, my leadership style and my communication style. But when you're showing up in a group the next week, you're going to be talking about that. It just puts a little bit more of a motivator, let's call it, to make the time and make it happen. And the other is just sharing the inspiration and the energy from the other people. It's just feeding off that group as well to help you moving forward and making this happen. And the sessions, I got this thing with 6-pack. So it's a 6-pack of sessions. And think of it almost like a 6-week exercise, because I just find the power of, before and after the sessions, what you're processing and thinking before you go in there, what you're processing afterwards. It's just a continuous cycle. And I'm also throwing in another session, a complimentary 45-minute one-on-one coaching session with me as well. So you can deep dive and peel the onion on any area in there that you think would be the most beneficial to you. Section 4, we're getting there. Section 4, this one is called hashtag your people development skills on steroids. So we're going to be going through a lot of different concepts. Don't worry, you'll catch bits and pieces of them. I think we're planting the seeds for all these different ways of playing to yourself. Like planting a garden, and you can come back later on once we're done and you can go back and revisit some of those and you can continue nurturing it. But the important time is to give you some exposure to it so you can kind of see what's out there and see how these different things tie in together. One of the things I've noticed is just how so many of these people skills or people capabilities and things that we know about ourselves, they really tie in and they're all integrated. At first I was tackling them one by one. It's the power when they get together. So I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to walk you through the 6 packs, the 6 sessions, starting with session number 1. So I call session number 1 the appreciation sessions. That's when we have a chance to get together, better appreciate who we're with, and kick off getting a better appreciation of who we are and who the other folks are at the same time. And what we're going to be here on playing to your you, here we're going to be inspiring you to follow what I call your compass. So in coaching, we called it our life compass. I call it following our heart, and that is our core values. So we're going to spend some time talking about core values. If you don't know what your core values are, or if you're thinking what your core values are, a little activity, sit down and just pump out the first 5 that come to your mind right now. What are the top 5 things that you value in your life and around the other people? So that would be the first thing we're going to do. By the way, I went through a list of 500 when I first started. I ended up adding 2 before I got down to my top 10. It took me a couple months, but it was an interesting exercise. I've gone through it a few times, made a few tweaks, but your values are the ones that really hang in there and change, hence your compass. Session number 2, play to your preferences and personality. So we'll talk about the personality. So again, what makes you tick on all kinds of different dimensions. On the work front, what are some of your strengths? What are areas that are more developmental with that type of personality and preferences? We're going to talk about the romantic you. We're going to talk about, the friend you, the parent you. All of those are covered off and all linked back to the personality you most identify with. And you're going to have 16 to choose from. Now, this is going to be a combination of self-assessments and assessments from other people as we go through. That's how we're going to learn a lot of these and then talk about them. Session number 3, play to your primary communication style. So there are 4 communication styles. You are going to get to pick one of yours as we go through that one. Session number 4, play to your top 3 strengths. So we're going to come up with another top 3. Again, you're going to have 34 to choose from. You're going to come up with your top 3. And then those ones actually will link into your leadership style. So play to your leadership style. So there are 4 leadership styles to choose from. And again, they link into your strengths. Session number 5. Here's where we're going to get the perspective of others. Play to your you with input through their lenses. Here you're going to have 5 people to choose from. It's a very simple exercise where you can actually go out there and get some feedback from other people about how they perceive you and how they appreciate you. And I just found that it was absolutely incredible to see how other people thought of me versus myself. I found that so cool. And session number 6 is play to your primary love language. So for those of you who don't know, there are 5 to choose from. You can use, they've got them for the workplace and the non-workplace. Non-workplace, they're all the same, except I think it's just worded a little bit differently. On the workplace, it's words of affirmation versus words of affection on the non-workplace. The others are acts of service, quality time, physical touch, and receiving gifts. So we'll talk about that as well. Another important thing is playing with our heart. So that's kind of the 6-pack. That's what we're going to be going through together during the 6 weeks together. Again, we're a group. It's the 5 of us who are going through this. So we'll have the sessions. We'll set up a mechanism for people who want to connect and chat and share in between the sessions as well. And as I mentioned, there's the one-on-one sessions with myself. And hey, folks, if you want to go out there and connect with yourselves in between, go for it. And when I go through these things, I drag my kids around off-site. Hey guys, I just learned about love languages. What are yours, or communication styles? And you'd be surprised. My daughter's be 16 in a bit. My son 18. How much they've really enjoyed doing these things. My son's girlfriend's jumping in there too and doing these things as well, and my daughter's best friend. So it's just it's a lot of fun. So it's a lot of work. We're going to roll up our sleeves, but it's a lot of fun as well. So the ultimate deliverable is that I'll let you build your own and pick out your own books and all that. But here you go. It's your own play to your you workbook. So you can put your picture in their name and your signature. Enjoy being you. Remember, I love this. Be you. Everyone else is taken. So they'll have your book that you can start on. Again, as I say, it's like your garden. Right? It's your garden. You're planting all these seeds in there, and you can expand on them as you go, and you can nurture them. And there's all kinds of other ways that you can get to know yourself as well. But these are kind of like I call them the foundation, and that to build on, and then you can move on to some of the other ones that are pretty important as well. So that is it. Oh, and the bonus, of course, is everything that you've learned by doing that, and the appreciation that you've had for the other folks as well. You might have connected more with some people by involving them too. So section 6, the big question, are you interested? So if you're interested, the next step, it's very simple. Reach out to me by email and say, Dave, I'm interested. So my email is Dave, A for Arthur, Walker, 123 @outlook.com. Dave A. Walker, 123 @outlook.com. So reach out to me and say, I'm in. I'm going to put down, the dates for my sessions. I'm going to put it on my LinkedIn, and I'm going to put it on my website. If they're not up there, or they've stale dated, again, just reach out to me, email, say, Dave, when's your next session? So we'll take it from there. If you want more information, again, just as easy, reach out to me by email. I've got a Word document that I put together that's got all the gory details. I can send that to you as well to take a look at. And if you want to talk about it first, again, reach out to me by email, and I'll send you a Zoom invite. We can just spend a quick half hour together and talk about it and see, you'll get a better sense of, to what extent would this fit with where you are right now. For those of you who aren't ready right now, again, just keep an eye out. I'll be having some more sessions later on. So there you go. Play to your you. I look forward to meeting you and playing along with you soon. Take care. Cheers.